Last week, we told you about Allen County's first reported death from the H1N1 virus. Today, News Channel 15 learned a nurse in Evansville died from flu-like symptoms. Her death could be the state's 13th H1N1 related death, and leaders do expect that number to rise. The latest report from the White House forecasts 2 million people will contract the virus this winter, with 30 to 90,000 H1N1 deaths. So, with that in mind, do you know when the symptoms are serious enough to go to the hospital?
Tonight, our Alyssa Ivinson digs deeper and finds the answer in her special report, Faces of the Flu.
When someone gets sick, it's not always easy for doctors to predict if they will recover easily or have severe symptoms. Tonight, we have the stories of 2 families hit by H1N1, but they had very different outcomes. And we discover exactly what you need to watch out for to know when symptoms are getting serious.
You know, it's one of those things you don't think will happen to you, and it hit me twice.
It's just almost puts a panic until you have to put yourself in nurse mode.
Kick yourself. 2 Indiana mothers, both with children who got H1N1. Katrina, Matt, and Mindy McIntosh live in Dearborn County. Joe and Taylor Harger in Steuben County.
I knew that her being in daycare, that there was a potential that she was going to get it.
2.5-year-old Taylor is full of life.
There's a bug right there. I got color.
But when she got the flu, she was a different person.
She was very lethargic. She just wanted to lay in my arms.
Joe is a nurse and knows H1N1 is hitting hard. So when Taylor had a high fever,
I was a little scared when we got above 103.
She knew it was not just a cold. And Taylor has asthma, a big risk factor for H1N1 symptoms taking a serious turn.
It's worrisome. I mean, you have the nebulizer on the ready to give her a breathing treatment if so needed.
My head hurts.
So we called her doctor right away.
Because Taylor's in a high-risk group, she took Tamiflu within 48 hours.
I take medicine.
And that made a big difference.
She just perked up so quickly after the Tamiflu.
Fortunately, Taylor's asthma didn't cause complications, and she didn't have to go to the hospital.
I feel very lucky.
Now you'd never know the little girl swinging and sliding fought the flu just a few weeks ago. But not every person who gets H1N1 is better in just a few days.
I don't know if we thought flu, but we thought something contagious.
Both of Katrina's children got the H1N1 flu in June, before everyone really knew what to expect from the virus.
I try to remember the good times and not the bad times. I try not to think of the hospital.
Wednesday, June 24th, Matt woke up with a fever. 2 days later, his older sister Mindy and their dad Mark got sick too. Mark got better in a few days. But Sunday, June 28th, Matt went to the hospital after coughing up blood.
And he just quickly got worse. On Monday night, they put him in ICU, and on Tuesday, they air carried him to UC.
Matt, just 19 years old, died Sunday, July 5th, 11 days after his first symptoms. Mindy, 26 years old, spent 3 weeks in the hospital and died July 27th.
They were both healthy. We don't know why it hit them so hard.
Health officials say most severe H1N1 cases are in people with other medical conditions, but a third happen in seemingly healthy people.
Usually if people are going to have adverse outcomes, it's usually someone that we can predict might have a problem, but not always with this particular virus.
When the children are in the early phases, it's really hard to predict which of those children are going to be better in 24 hours or which are going to get a lot worse.
But there are some specific symptoms to watch for. If someone sick with the flu gets a fever that won't go down with medicine, is confused or disoriented, has trouble breathing, or hasn't urinated for 8 to 12 hours, they should get to the ER as quickly as possible. But even if people get to the doctor when they should, the scary thing about this H1N1 virus is sometimes it's still too late.
It can already be at a point where no matter what you do, it's just not going to make a difference. And that is just really devastating to people.
And unimaginable for a mother who lost both her children in a matter of weeks.
There's nobody to blame in this. No sense of relief because of a blame or anything. It's just, it happened and you have to deal with what happened.
So just how much longer will this flu stick around, and how are hospitals coping? We'll answer those questions tomorrow. Alyssa Ivinson, News Channel 15.